Yeah, I think the laptop is good.
Okay.
I have a tendency to walk around.
Okay.
So that's fine. And if I start talking too fast, guys, please raise your hand. It is a habit, and Dora and I are working on this, but please raise your hand, stop me if anyone has any questions. Okay. So for starters, I like to ask, how many of you are already using social media marketing for your business or to build your personal brand? Okay. Yes. Did you guys know that 70 to 80% of people actually research a small business online before they visit or purchase anything?
Wow.
70 to 80%. That shouldn't be a big surprise when you think about how often you look someone up before you go to buy from them, right? Unfortunately, only 1 in 5 small business owners are actually using any type of digital marketing for their business in 2017. 1 in 5. Now, I know a lot of you here are either aspiring entrepreneurs, or maybe you're just getting started in your business, or some of you may have been in business a lot longer, however, you're still looking for ways to scale. So today I'm going to give you 5 actionable steps you can take to start building your social media presence and really take your business to the next level by using digital marketing. First step is going to be doing your research. This is going to be the most important step. Why do you want to be on social media? It seems obvious at first, right? Because I want to sell more of my product or my service. But when it comes to social media marketing, number one, the way social media is set up, it's not, oh, I follow this person and then I buy from them immediately. Like Endora talks about, you have to build trust, you have to build relationships, you have to connect with people. So whenever you're thinking about why you really want to be on social media, there's way more important reasons than just, I want to sell my products. And if you go in with that mentality, chances are your social media marketing efforts will fail. One thing you want to think about whenever you're saying, why I want to be on social media. Are you someone who has a business in Durham and maybe you want to build in the Durham community? Or if you're more like me and your business is mostly online, do you want to build an online community? Are you a creative person who's very visual and maybe a platform like Instagram is really good for you because you are DIY, which I am not at all, let me say. Or maybe you're some sort of graphic artist where you can actually showcase your products. Or, what I personally believe is you have a story to tell and you want to share that with the world. And let's be honest, we all know that social media is the world these days. So these are questions to ask yourself whenever you're deciding, okay, I want to build a social media strategy, but I don't know where to begin. Another question to ask, what social media channel should I be on? Who is your target audience?
Exactly.
If your target audience they're baby boomers, I'm probably not going to recommend you get on Snapchat. On the reverse, if you're targeting millennials, maybe Twitter isn't the best medium for you to use. So think about who your target audience is and think about where they're hanging out, where they're more likely to actually see your content. Don't try to spread yourself too thin, because although we all know there are several social media channels, and there's that fear of missing out, and I completely understand. I have to get on myself about this a lot. I'm like, stop trying to be everywhere at once. Choose 1 or 2 channels and work on really building on those 1 or 2, and then from there you move on if you decide to. Another thing to consider is, where does your expertise lie? If you already have expertise in Facebook and you know that's something that would be easier for you to figure out, then maybe Snapchat, definitely for me. Disclaimer, I do not do Snapchat. Decide if you already have expertise, because that's going to make it a lot easier for you to actually learn the platform. Especially for entrepreneurs like yourself, where we're doing everything in our business, right? How many of you have someone who can do social media for you full time? My point exactly. So if you already have expertise in the area, use that to your advantage. Ask yourself these questions while you're doing your research before you even try to start executing on anything. The second step is create some content.
That's right.
Content is anything that is shared on the web, whether it's just a general social media post, whether it's an image, a video, a blog, tutorial, webinar, whatever it is, it's all content. So when it comes to creating content, first what you want to do is think about if you already have existing content you can leverage. For example, this event, if she's already on social media, but if she wanted to start a social media channel tomorrow, pictures and videos that are being taken here, that's content that she has. If you're a writer, and I know there are a couple writers in here, and you already have some blogs you've written, or you already have a portfolio, that's content for you. Make sure if you already have things you can leverage, as long as it's still relevant and it's not outdated information, use it. For those of you who do not already have content, do not fear. Like I said earlier, there's so many different options you have for content. And this is where you want to think about your strengths and your skills. If you're really good on video, then try to incorporate video into your social media strategy. With it being 2017, to be honest with you, you should have video in your social media strategy anyway, but that's something you can build up to. Again, if you're really good at writing and you know that's something that's attainable for you, decide to have a content strategy that maybe incorporates a lot of blogs or white papers or whatever it is that you like to write. Just make sure that you're not overwhelming yourself. Because it's very easy to get on Google and say, what should I put on social media? And then the first thing you read, you're like, all right, we're good. No. So make sure that whatever you decide to do, make it attainable for you. Start small and build your way up. I'm all about the compound effect. Start small because if you jump in, it's really easy to quit that way. Now, as you have some content, the next thing you want to do is create your profile or optimize it if you already have a social media profile. The reason this is step 3 and not step 2 is because a lot of people just decide, oh, I want to make a Twitter account. And then they create it, and once you create it, it's out there. Like anyone can see it. And believe it or not, people are looking for you. And if they're not looking for you, then they're definitely looking for whatever it is you're offering, whatever product or service it is. So the reason, again, this is step 3 and not step 2 is because you don't want to send people to a social media profile with nothing on it. We've all visited someone's page and they either didn't have a picture at all, okay, you're creepy, goodbye. Or maybe they had their last post from 2012.
Right.
And the bad thing about that is, even though you're still valuable and it doesn't actually mean anything to you, but to them, you got a stale and outdated social media account. Maybe you're stale and outdated. I don't want to work with you. So again, make sure you sort of have a plan in place before you really start executing. While you're creating and optimizing your profile, things you want to consider. Number 1, a professional headshot. We do not need to see selfies. We do not need to see duck faces. We do not need to see your spouse. I hate to break your hearts, we do not need to see your kids. Unless it aligns with your brand.
Absolutely.
Obviously, if you have a brand where you work with children a lot, sure. Otherwise, we don't need to see it. We need to see your face smiling with a nice background. It doesn't need to be anything super fancy. Obviously, if you can have a professional photographer, that's great. However, I will tell you, my headshot was not taken by a professional photographer. It was actually taken by the lovely Suzanne Rose, who is recording me right now. So if photography, maybe it isn't in the budget right now, that's fine. Get you some nice lighting and someone who's going to be honest about how your pictures look, and you are good to go. Another thing when it comes to optimizing your profile is going to be your bio, or your about me, or your summary, depending on what channel we're talking about. This is where it's your time to shine. Because after someone goes to your profile, they see your picture, that's the next thing they're looking at, right? What do you do? Not what is your job title, but what are you actually offering people? What is the benefit? For example, my Twitter bio says, I help businesses connect the dots between social media and success. It does not say, I am a social media strategist. Put personality in your bio. No one wants to work with someone who, like, this is all they do. So if you have, extracurricular activities that you do, and maybe some of you do, maybe you don't, but try to spice it up a little bit. If you love yoga, put in there that you love yoga. If you love chocolate, and I have a client, she's actually a realtor, she loves chocolate, and she has it in her bio. Like, put something in that is going to draw people to you. At the end of the day, people want to connect with people, not brands. People have human characteristics. We're not these buildings that is just like, okay, buy my product or service. So always keep that in mind as you're trying to build your personal brand on social media, especially these days, because as everyone knows, when you go to someone's social media profile, you're digging, you're looking around, and you want to make sure that whatever you're putting out there, it's like I was telling you, it's what you want people to see. When it comes to that balance between personal and business, I can't lie, it's a very blurred line. And it also depends on how much of your extracurricular activities aligns with what you do. What's for some people it does, some people it doesn't. Rule of thumb is 80% of the time you want to share content about what you want to be known for. So for me, 80% of my content, it'll be about social media marketing or something about inspiration, motivation, things like that. And then you may see me at a flag football game on Sunday because my sister plays flag football. So keep that in mind while you're building your bio. And the last thing about your profile is you want to make sure it's optimized for SEO. For those of you who don't know, SEO is search engine optimization, which is a fancy way of saying whenever someone searches you, you rank high on Google. Go back to thinking about your audience. What are they searching for? Think about the keywords they would be searching for if you were them. Put yourself in their shoes. Put those words in your bio so people can actually find you. Chances are, I hate to say it, there's thousands, millions of other people out here who do what you do. You have to find a way to stand out, and you have to make sure people are actually finding you online. Step 4 is going to be share content. So all that content we talked about in step 2, it's time to execute. Rule of thumb is anywhere between 3 and 10 posts, and I know that that's really broad, but again, it all comes back to what channel you're on. If you're on Instagram, for example, whenever you go to someone's Instagram page, you immediately see the first 3 rows, which is 9 posts. So again, you go to someone's Instagram account, they only have 1 post up there, it's like, I don't know enough about them, I'm gone. So make sure that you actually have enough information so that people can actually see what you're posting about. If it's Facebook, on the other hand, you can probably get away with 3 to 5 because people aren't going to scroll as far as they would on an Instagram feed. Twitter, honestly, it could be anywhere between like 1 and 15 because Twitter is so fast that you have a lot of leeway there. So now that you're sharing content, here's the time for you to actually start sharing your social media profiles. On LinkedIn, you can actually link to your Twitter account. You can simply post to your Facebook page, hey, I'm also on Instagram now, follow me here. Or I share tips on XYZ to my LinkedIn page, you can connect with me here. Tell the world you're on social media. Put the icons in your email signature. Make sure they're on your website. Everyone, just how they have it appear on the banner, that's exactly how you guys can do. Anywhere you go, make sure people know that you are on social media. The last thing is to engage and start connecting with people. So people you want to connect with or follow or like, however you want, whatever terminology, depending on the channel. Your employees, your employers, clients, if appropriate, obviously. Obviously, Pandora and I, we're connected on LinkedIn. But again, there are some of you have clients where maybe it's not as appropriate for you to follow them on Instagram, and that's perfectly fine. LinkedIn, what I like about LinkedIn is you can connect with pretty much anyone on there, and the creep factor is like very minimal.
Yes, the creep factor.
If your boss follows you on Instagram, it's kind of like, exactly. But if they connect you on LinkedIn, it's a little better. So just keep in mind to always keep it appropriate. But again, these are all people that you can connect with. Also, any of your contacts. Anyone here in this room. If I get a business card from anyone in here, I'm going to connect with every last one of you on LinkedIn. Because LinkedIn is your digital address book. Anytime someone says, oh, I need life coaching, and we'll pretend that I don't know if I need as well as I do. But if she's on LinkedIn and I'm like, oh, I'm connected with someone who does life coaching, let me put you on. Bam, there's someone right there for you. On the other hand, referrals. You can refer people because that's what this is all about, right? How can we collaborate? How can we help each other out? Stay connected. Like she said, don't just come here and get a business card and leave because you never know. You never know where the relationship will go. I had no idea Pandora and I were going to become such good friends. I had her try Indian food yesterday for the first time in, 10 years? Point being, you never know where the relationship will take you. And last, you want to connect with thought leaders in your industry. And basically all this means is anyone who's an industry expert. So who does what you do, but maybe they're a few steps ahead of you, and they're an influencer? Who are you following and you say, oh, I love the way they run their business, I love their marketing, I want to be like them. Be careful with that. also people you want to connect with. Number one, their followers are the same followers that are more likely going to be interested in you. Number two, you can get ideas and inspiration from them. Now, I'm a big believer in doing what the competitors are not doing versus doing what they are doing. However, it can work both ways. And last but not least, if they're an influencer, they're someone you want to be connected with. Influencer marketing is huge right now. And I won't go into all of that, but the gist of all of that is influencers, first of all, they started exactly where we are, or whoever is at the bottom. They weren't always an influencer, so they know what it's like. And influencers, a lot of them are willing to help people. So if they see like, oh, I see this little young thing trying to do her thing come up, you never know. They'll reach out to you and say, hey, I see this. You shared this blog post. Do you mind if I share it? Do you want to do an interview? You never know whenever there's an opportunity for an influencer and you to collaborate that can grow your business. So now that you've done your research, you got some content, you're sharing, you're all set up, you're connecting with people. The thing you have to remember about social media marketing is it is about give, always. No one is on social media because we want to get sold. Who goes on Instagram and be like, ooh, I want to spend some money today? No. You say, who's going to inform me? Who's going to make me laugh? Who's going to give me some education? So again, put yourself in the shoes of your audience. Yeah, you have a product or a service, and as long as your audience is targeted, of course it's fine for you to talk about that, but be careful about how pushy you are, because social media is not the platform to go for the hard sell all the time. Obviously, there's other rules about that, but we won't get into all that today either. I actually have all of this in a digital copy, specifically for entrepreneurs. It's a 6-step guide, so if anyone is interested, I'm happy to send that to your email. I actually have a clipboard here. If you are interested, you can just give me your name and email, and I'll send you the guide. It's completely free.
Amazing.
It's marketing. There you go. If anyone is ready to, take it to the next level and you want to work with me one-on-one, you can check that last column. And all I'll do is I'll send out an email for us to set up a one-on-one free consultation. We'll talk about your marketing goals, your business goals, and how we can start working together. Does anyone have any questions? Esther.
I have a question and a comment. Please share your newsletter website information with everybody.
I will actually, if you sign up on that list, you're on the newsletter. So also, if you want social media tips, insights, more of this, by all means, sign up for my newsletter. And of course, I'm on social media, so you can find me at Bianca Lynch on Twitter, @_Bianca Lynch on Instagram. Just a quick disclaimer as far as brand consistency, it should all be the same, but sometimes your name is taken. So yes, but if you type in Bianca Lynch, you'll find me eventually with the same photo that's over here. You said you had a question too?
I had a question about, I receive a lot of promotional emails that promise that you're going to make millions of dollars via the internet. Is that really true?
Can you make millions of dollars on the internet?
Yes.
Absolutely. And can I show you how to make millions of dollars on the internet? No. Number one. Number two, just like anything else, there's always going to be people that say, I can get you to do this in 20 days. I can get you to lose 50 pounds by tomorrow. Exactly. But it really, honestly, it really depends on what the business is. A lot of those things are like affiliate marketing people or people who are maybe like SEO people, or they're doing like certain ads. But for what I do specifically, I'm all about building, connecting people with their audiences, empowering entrepreneurs to have the same privileges that the larger businesses have. Actually, I didn't give my elevator speech in the beginning, but my primary audience is actually larger companies, but I love working with entrepreneurs and business owners because I know what it's like to not have the full-time social media manager and to not have the $40,000 plus marketing budget and to not have, all that time and expertise like right at your fingertips. So that's why I really do love working with business owners one-on-one as well. So I hope that answered your question. Okay. You got a question?
What zip code do you live in?
I live in Morrisville, so I'm right in between Raleigh and Durham.
That's good. It's just that they had Southeast Raleigh had a pitch today for those who live in Southeast Raleigh. It was a big event today.
Gotcha, yeah. I won't lie, I'm not in Raleigh too often. I'm actually freelancing with a digital marketing agency there now. Other than that, I tend to avoid Raleigh like the plague. Because I'm from Wilmington and I like the smaller areas. But
Elevator speech.
does anyone else have any questions? Okay, well, thank you guys. Thank you, Lynn and Maggie, for having